Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Stockwell. Joining me today is head coach of the men's soccer team, Coach Brian Davidson. Coach, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. All right, let's hop right into this. Coach, obviously this is your first season as a head coach, and it's probably going to be the weirdest one you'll ever have. Have there been any extra challenges being a first-year head coach in a COVID-struck season?
Absolutely. I think the probably biggest hurdle that I've had to overcome during this is one, as a first time head coach. I know how the process goes, I know how everything goes, but finding your own niche and finding how to do things that you want to do them, that's always a big thing to overcome as a first year head coach. On top of having the COVID situation now, I've had to what I wanted to do and then rechange it 50 times to make it work basically every single week. That has definitely had its own challenges, but as I was telling everyone, if I can overcome this as a first year head coach, I'm pretty sure no situation will become worse than this. So I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, that's very true. Uh, All right, so far you guys have been able to get 4 games in. You got your first one last week at home against William Penn in overtime. Since then, you've obviously had some time to reflect on that win. Can you give us an insight into what that meant to you as a head coach?
A lot. It's what I was kind of telling everyone. I was more of just wanting to kind of get it out of the way than anything. I didn't want the focus with the team to be, all right, when's it going to happen? When's he going to get his first win? I didn't want that looming over everybody, especially myself. I mean, having my own self doubts of when's it going to happen? Am I doing the right thing? So I was really happy to kind of go in a first conference game and just get that out of the way with, so I can get out of the way. That's my first win. It's my first conference win, and then we can kind of move on to everything else. But no, I was overcome with joy, especially the circumstances that that game had. I was really happy with it.
A 1-3 start to the season. What's the big theme for improvement, and also what's worked so well so far this year?
We got to score goals. I think that's the biggest thing that I spoke with even last night with the guys, and something I plan on working this week up into our match with CMU this weekend. We got to finish the ball. I mean, I don't want to be the team that, like when I was a player here, we were almost always on the back foot of things. We always knew that the team was better than us. We had to defend properly. And if we got a couple shots on goal and they went in, that was good news for us, but it wasn't always likely. I don't want the identity of the team to be, well, that's the team that we can go at and they're just going to have to defend the entire game. I don't want that to be us. I want to be the team that's forefront with us. So we even last night we had a talk with the guys at the halftime because I thought we were playing negative with the ball way too much, just uh, giving the other team too many opportunities to come at us when we should be the ones that going at them and taking our opportunities like good teams do. So I had to talk at halftime with them, and then came out in the second half. I thought we did a really good job. I know we got two scored on us, but I wasn't really too concerned about that because we were worried about going forward. And of course, when you're going forward, you have some lapses in the back. So I wasn't too concerned about it because I wanted the idea to go, hey, we can go forward, and then we can work on how to prevent them from attacking us after we get the ball up, which almost inevitably is going to happen at some point. So that's definitely the first thing I think we need to work on. Having said that, us defensively, I thought has been really good. We haven't been broken down in the run of play. I don't think at all this season. Um, the only time that we've been broken down in the run of play is when we've made a mistake and gave the ball to them. It wasn't something that they broke us down and they created an opportunity out of it. Besides our own mistakes and then some set piece issues, I thought we've been very good defensively, and that's I think a tribute to that we've are the returners that played significant minutes last year. Three of them are in the back line, and everyone else is kind of new and figuring things out. So I definitely think that's helped with us. And then Ryan Houston goal has been amazing so far. I mean, some of the saves that he's pulled out, especially in the William Penn. There was one that was a deflection. It was going to go upper 90, and no chance that I ever think he was going to save that. And somehow I got a hand and pushed it wide. So I mean, he's saved our butt quite a few times now. So I hope he can continue through the rest of the season. But defensively, we've been very good.
All right, like you said in that answer, you played here yourself. What are some of the changes that you're really trying to culturally change from when you played here to now being the head coach that you'd like to see different?
I want to, when they finish their 4 years, I want them to be happy that they chose Gore Stockton. Again, the wins and everything, that's great. I'm a very competitive person. I hate losing. It's one of the reasons that I still wanted to choose a career in coaching, is because I love the competition and I miss the competition. Um, but in the end of the day, I don't want a situation where we're getting wins, but they're like, yeah, you know what? I didn't really enjoy it there. Like, it was nice to play there. We got some wins, but that was pretty much it. I don't want that to be the mentality of the players leaving here. I want their mentality to go like, I'm glad I chose there to go all 4 years. I really enjoyed it. We had some 500 seasons, but you know what, we fought really hard, and I enjoyed being around everyone. Like, that's the attitude that I want them to have. It wasn't necessarily the attitude what I had when I left. Now, obviously, I came back 3 times, so I enjoy the school and I enjoy being here. But in terms of a playing standpoint, it was so for me. And that was kind of a learning curve for me when I went into the coaching. It's like, so how do I learn from my situation to where I didn't necessarily enjoy all 4 years? Like, it wasn't as competitive as I wanted it to be. And then how can I promote that to the players now to make it competitive and still enjoy their time here?
Awesome. Like you also said a couple answers ago, only really couple key returners. You got a fairly young roster. There's only 3 seniors on the roster.
Mhm.
How much have you had to rely on them with the shortened like preseason workouts due to COVID and not really getting as much time
Uh,
as you typically would?
No, I mean quite a bit. Even throughout the summer when I was, I mean, obviously I couldn't work with them personally last spring because everyone went back home. So when learning the team and trying to figure things out, I relied on them quite a bit. So one of the changes that I made this year is we did away with captains. It's something the women's team has done in the past, and something that I did with SEMO, that the head coaches did at SEMO when I was with them this past season. It was something I really enjoyed, because I think with captainships, it goes to players' heads sometimes, or they feel left out. So one thing that I did this year to change things up a little bit is, like, the seniors are the quote unquote captains. And so I'll have meetings with them every other week or so, just to kind of go over things, how's everyone's mental, how are they doing off campus, any things that we need to change within trainings or games, or just kind of getting their thoughts of stuff that I don't see on a daily basis, right? I see them in the training, and I speak to them every once in a while to let them know how to develop and how to get better at things, but I don't see them everyday life. So I speak to the seniors quite a bit about that, of how everyone's doing, and what things need to change. So yeah, like Lewis, Carson, Matt, Brian, all those guys, Tyler, all those guys that there are just, they've been very helpful for me, and I'm lucky to have them this year, because I don't think that things would have gone as smoothly if it wasn't for those guys.
Awesome. And finally, coach, you play Central Methodist this weekend at home. Without giving away too much, what's the plan on how to attack them and come out with the victory?
Uh, and a blanket term, cut down the trees. I mean, they're tall, and that's why they've won 2 national championships, because they can lob the ball up and they're going to outjump you. So the biggest thing, and one of the things I think we struggle with at the moment, is allowing opportunities around the box, whether that's a free kick, throw in, corner, whatever the case might be. I think that's going to be a priority for us this weekend, is making sure that we limit those chances, because there's some things that you just can't prevent in a game. And if a guy is 6'6" and he's going up against a guy at 6 foot, he's always going to win that header. And that's what they're good at, and that's what their coach does a good job of modeling around to make sure that those guys get the ball. So we just have to limit those opportunities and be smart. I mean, it's going to be the story of us all season, that we have to be smart with the ball. We have to be patient with the ball, and while still having confidence to go forward. And I think that's kind of the identity switch that we're going with, and hopefully develop over the season. But yeah, I mean, there's no way around it. It's always going to be a tough game. But I do think they have some weak spots that we have to exploit. And of course, it's like a team like that, you just have to to limit the mistakes as much as possible, and then hopefully you do well that game.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, Coach, and have a great
I
great
appreciate it.
rest
Thank
of
you.
the season.